Eyewitness Museum, created by combining traditional filmmaking techniques with state-of-the-art computer graphics, stripping away the mysteries of nature and science to reveal the essence of each subject, bringing the world into sharp focus. The making of Eyewitness. The distinct visual style of the Eyewitness books is the basis for the programs. They provide the filmmakers with a starting point and a challenge. The challenge of transferring the clarity and superrealism into moving images. Filming those images requires many hours of preparation. Each scene must be visualized and carefully mapped out by the storyboard artist. Many scenes require complex special effects. In Eyewitness Plant, the director wanted to create a 3D figure made entirely of vegetation. How could this be achieved? After the storyboard artist developed the idea, the graphics team got to work. They began with a basic outline of a computer-generated body. This wireframe can then be added to and rendered in any texture and colour desired until the final product blossoms on screen. Over 3 series, Eyewitness has encountered a dazzling array of graphic imagery. None has remained as constant as the Eyewitness Museum itself. The museum's design has continuously evolved. New galleries and features have been added to the basic structure, and gallery displays change constantly. Computer graphics give the program makers freedom to alter and add to the museum in any way, creating a virtual reality storehouse where the real and the impossible share one roof. It is a museum that allows us to see the world as never before. State-of-the-art technology has been used to create many of the series' visual effects, which would otherwise have been impractical to construct. The computer lets designers build the architecture of their dreams and move a camera through it in impossible ways. In Eyewitness Human Machine, the tables were turned when a real person was used to create the look of a computer wireframe. A professional mime artist was brought into the studio to play the part. But getting into the role required a tight squeeze. Carefully designed grid lines on his tailor-made rubber suit enhanced the effect of an electronic skeleton. All that remained was the face, which had to be carefully painted on by the makeup artist. Once the director had given his final instructions and the crew were in position, it was time for a take. Playing the human machine meant the mime had to interact with a museum that only existed in the director's mind. It would all be added later. Normally in the production process, music is also added after filming. But in Human Machine, the script called for a performance by a real violinist and harpsichordist to illustrate how sound is sensed by our body.
need another one. Yeah, which one in this video?
The Eyewitness studio isn't big enough to hold a real plane. So how can the effects of flight be simulated with scale models? Replicas of biplanes were brought into the studio and suspended.
Just lift it up a little bit more. Well, to be perfectly honest, as a viewer, would you...
They were filmed against a chroma key blue background. This specific colour can later be replaced electronically with a different image.
Over the shoulder now.
Mike can...
With the help of some camera moves and a wind machine, the plane miraculously takes flight. Back in the graphics studio, the designer removes the blue areas and fills them with sky. Fitting an entire solar system into the museum for Eyewitness planets proved a very different challenge for the model makers. Creating a single miniature planet took days of sculpting, moulding and painting. Countless craters had to be painstakingly added. Although many of the images of the planets would be designed in the computer, the real models were the most efficient way of creating the intricate surface detail.
My idea was to get through some sort of smoke cloud, you know, so the smoke whites out, so you put it on.
The addition of lighting and a careful camera move completed the effect. To illustrate dramatic conditions on the freezing nighttime surface of Mercury, an apple was submerged into liquid nitrogen.
Right,
I think I was trying to do it in a decent shot.
yes.
It's a ball.
Yeah, that looked a
It's
bit.
all too... They haven't graded it.
A slow-motion camera captured the results. Some of the most dramatic shots in the series pass in a fleeting moment, but achieving them can take days or even weeks of meticulous preparation. It's taken this model maker an entire week to construct a Greek temple for Eyewitness Natural Disaster. Sadly, he will only see his masterpiece on screen for a few seconds before it is deliberately destroyed. Not all models need to be as detailed or delicately handled. The art of a model maker is knowing how far to go in creating the right effect. To simulate the look of the seabed, you needn't submerge an entire set underwater. A simple trick with a small tank in front of the camera can give this model an eerie ocean floor feel. Add a few bubbles and a helping hand, and you can even shift the Earth's plates. In the opening to Natural Disaster, an exploding picture was potentially the most dangerous shot of the series. A pane of glass was attached to a frame and then blasted by compressed air.
We just keep going then, we? I think so.
In the editing process, this shot is combined with another to produce the final shattering effect.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Having explosive situations in the studio is not to be recommended. But to create the solar system, a big bang was unavoidable. A ballistics expert provided strict guidance and supervision. A slow-motion camera was protected by a sheet of high-strength glass. Above this, the suspended explosive was detonated. Once again, the graphics department was called in to make the final intergalactic editions, painting in the first moments of the solar system, frame by frame. Most of us have dreamt of escaping work to a fantasy island. For the Eyewitness team, the fantasy became the job when they were asked to create an island paradise in the studio. Over 100 sandbags and several tons of sand were used. Special precautions were taken to ensure that water and electricity would be kept apart in the studio. No island would be complete without its own palm tree. A plastic trunk was topped off with imported real leaves. It took most of the day to fill the 15-metre wide pool with water. By the time Long John Silver arrived on set, the tide was in. The camera was mounted onto a crane called a jib. Positions were taken and the director finally called action. To complete the scene, a seemingly simple trick effect had to be engineered. The coconut had to fall at a specific point to be caught on camera. It was attached to a small electronic device which, at the push of a button, released the coconut.
Okay, action.
From island to ocean. Journeying beneath the waves, the next watery challenge for the team was capturing an encounter with a deep-sea monster. The crew headed to a sea life centre for an easy catch. A tiny submersible camera was lowered into a tank along with a model diver. The overly curious octopus soon got to grips with his new co-star. The real star of the ocean programme was to be a bathysphere, our tour guide to the undersea world. Combining designs from historical fact and fiction, the model makers worked to create a practical craft that would look good on camera and perform underwater. For an important shot, the director wanted to see the bathysphere emerge from the ocean. A large tank was filled with water and the model was held down in place. After a capsized couple of takes, the final shot, filmed once again in slow motion, caught the moment of surfacing perfectly. From water to ice, when the programme called in the help of professional ice sculptors. The sculptors worked at amazing speed, wielding chainsaws with remarkable precision. The ice began to take shape, and a temple from the city of Atlantis magically emerged. After only 30 minutes, the temple was complete and ready for the studios. Under hot lights, allowing only one chance to capture the melting process, which would make up the final effect. The crew worked fast to ensure the masterpiece would remain in one piece long enough. To their surprise, the ice took days to completely disappear. When you can't take a crew to a mountain, why not make the mountain come to the studio? For the programme of the same name, a huge fiberglass mountain was built and prepared outside the main studio. After a week of work came the day to move mountains. Before the director was happy for the ascent to begin, finishing touches were added. Scaling its modest slopes didn't take long. The mountaineer had more problems coping with the heat of the studio lights. In the graphics suite, the final effect hadn't quite the grandeur that the director had hoped for. Time for the mountain rescue team to move in. The designer duplicated the same section of mountain, varying it in size to give perspective to the image. The climber now had a more impressive slope to scale. A faster way of building a mountain is to generate it completely on computer. Once you have the framework, it can be manipulated and viewed from any angle. In a few clicks, the computer can alter the colour, surface or shape, from mouse to mountains in seconds. One of the great questions in eyewitness life is what comes first, the chicken or the egg? The answer is difficult when you have a camera-shy chicken. The shot seemed simple enough. An egg would crack in half to reveal the chicken, which would then walk out. Right? Wrong.
Yep. Yeah, that was easy done. Right.
Strings were attached to the oversized egg in order to pull the shell apart. The chicken was carefully introduced. The director called action, but no chicken. She obviously preferred the safety of the shell to the bright studio lights. Perhaps if there were two chickens, one of them might come out. No.
Right, now you need to start further back.
If at first you don't succeed,
Reaction.
at last. But how do you get an elephant out of a tree? Morphing, where one object changes into another. It's a technique that has been used many times in Eyewitness, but usually not with such different objects. In this instance, the outline of the first object is laid over the second. Selected points are then dragged to match the new outline. It's up to the computer to calculate and render all the stages in between. Putting two very different things together is made easier in Eyewitness Survival. Here, a cockerel and a fox have to appear in the same set, but how do you avoid having one of your stars getting eaten? First, the camera is locked off into position. Then the cockerel is introduced, and with a little encouragement, he hops off the post. It was up to the graphics team to mat out the animal handler by superimposing a clean section of the footage. Next came the fox. Once the fox sequence had been filmed, it was layered over the cockerel shot. Predator and prey on screen together, and everyone survives. Music livens up any scene in a program, but it's not easy to get right the first time. By playing and storing all the elements of the music electronically, the composer can adjust it according to the action in each shot. He must work from the finished picture, using it as a guide to time each section of music. When the director demands an entire troop of Roman soldiers, computers provide a cost-effective solution. It was decided that only 2 actors were needed. The remainder would be added by duplicating the image and staggering their movement slightly. The result? An entire Roman troop for only a few denarii. In Eyewitness Bear, there was no faking the size of a real grizzly. A professional was called in, a gentle giant who became the museum's most notorious animal visitor. The star even had his own transport and entourage. It was a big day for Hercules, a veteran of film and television, but he seemed remarkably cool about his appearance. Weighing over 1/3 of a ton, he's not a performer the director wanted to annoy.
It's going to be one though.
Once the room in the museum is selected, Hercules can be dropped in. A star is born. A star that needs a lot of play. No playing with Hercules' untrained friend, a black bear. A retaining cage had to be constructed to protect the crew, with only the handler allowed in. In the graphics suite, the bears are united to create a shot which would have been far too dangerous to attempt for real. Filming a real environment gave the crew an ideal opportunity to go on location. Unfortunately, the weather proved less than ideal.
No, ordinary thing.
The crew faced wind and rain to recreate the story of how President Teddy Roosevelt inadvertently led to the creation of the teddy bear. With a firearms expert on hand and a pack of hounds at the heel, the team had to make quick progress to complete all the shots before the next downpour. Filming in the studio is usually less pressured, unless your subject is a gruesome hyena for Eyewitness Monster.
Fine.
For his scene, the hyena had to sniff out its prey in a crack in the wall. It didn't take much coaxing with the help of a special hyena snack. A single shot in Eyewitness sight combined the challenges of working with animals, models and graphics, all to create a fleeting optical illusion. The set alone took 3 days to construct. Every detail had to be measured and lined up precisely before the hand-painted backdrop was brought in.
I think we might have to move that. Right, screw. Because we're going to roll it a bit. Oh yeah.
Getting an owl to line up precisely for the shot required more time. Time for the animal to familiarise itself with its strange new environment. A carefully calculated camera move across the set and a well-behaved animal actor produced the remarkable final shot. From animal actors to famous people, Eyewitness has filled its museum with every imaginable subject, often combining the latest technology with time-honoured techniques, or time-honoured performers like Charlie Chaplin. He joins a limitless who's who of animals and artifacts, plants and planets, shooting stars and movie stars. Eyewitness is more than a museum. It's a world of infinite possibilities, where you never know where you may end up.